how the story goes, we find out by the treasure in the grand line, there's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing, I'll be king of the pirates, I'm gonna be king.
Hey guys, King of Charmanders here. Today I bring to you the best Malzeno Driftsmelt builds, the ultimate dragon Driftsmelt meta. And this video explores the best Driftsmelt builds for the Malzeno Weapons. Malzeno Weapons are the most powerful dragon weapons as to its release date, near Gigante. Yes, it has utility, but if we're just talking about pure power, it's Malzeno. And because we have this new Driftsmelt remake, I'm going to talk about that in a bit, we have a whole new Driftsmelt meta possible for the Malzeno Weapons. First, let's get started with the Driftsmelt odds and future analysis. So Driftsmelting got a recent rework. So this allows you to smelt powerful meta skills that weren't locked before, like raw power, dragon attack, etc. Those were usually locked to mysterious drift stones, or the drift gems, which were actually really annoying at first, but you know what? They're much better now. But not really much better. If you look at the odds right here, the odds of you getting the exclusive skill is 2.5%. For the common skills, it's 3.9. For mysterious stones, it can range from 2.0, 3.3 to 5. That is not high at all. Just to put in account, this is out of 100%. So you could spend hundreds of drift smelts and not get what you want. Take it from the guy right here, because drift smelting is extremely tedious and time consuming. Be sure you are listening to credible sources before you drift smelt anything. I spend money on insta smelts. If my community is spending on insta smelts, I better hope I know what I'm talking about. So, because I spent hundreds and literally I have videos and content about my mistakes and just my suffering, I don't want you to suffer as well. Also, the future meta looks to be different unless you're using bow, because advanced dragon attack would be an interesting meta. They haven't announced this yet, but we have just recently for Season 8 gotten advanced ice attack as well as advanced thunder attack. With that and those possibilities, that means advanced dragon attack is very likely coming in the future. I always say there are better skills coming for the future. So if there's something that doesn't look good, I spend a little bit of time thinking about it, and then I put some numbers in, blah, 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 and I'm like, okay, you know what? This actually looks good. In Pokemon Go PvP, I was the first one in Season 1 to ever make it through an anti-meta team through Master League and make the leaderboard with it. So because I made the leaderboard with that, I know I'm good at data analysis, and I can totally make stuff happen. So again, don't drift smelt anything unless you really know what you're doing. And this brings us to the best Malzeno drift smelt melee builds data. So here we compare the top realistic dragon drift smelt melee builds as of Season 7. As we see here, Pursuit 5 at a 65% activation rate is the highest and most consistent. While Coalescence barely skates by Resuscitate and Elemental Attack version, so I would never recommend it. I also put Coalescence at 70%, which I think is just being way too generous because it only lasts for 20 seconds. So at most, you're probably going to activate Coalescence, what, 3 times, 2 times at most, if it even lives that long, for a 35% boost. So again, totally not worth it for what you have to do. The only time I remember Coalescence ever being relevant was Hellfire, and you even had to perfect dodge to activate it. Do not do all that nonsense. Coalescence will never be like the future meta, and it clearly isn't. With advanced ice attack and advanced thunder attack coming out, I really recommend you don't actually drift smelt into melee or bowguns right now. Now the thing is, a little bit about this, as far as the rest of these, for the last one, it's the critical eye combinations, which comes in last at 9% less than the top, but it's not terrible. But again, I don't recommend you smelt anything into melee or bowguns right now, but if you want to, follow the builds coming up next. And here is the best Malzeno melee drift smelt build at number 1. We have 5 smelts for dragon attack, which does the highest overall theoretical damage at 7170. However, you must break a monster part to activate Pursuit. At a 65% activation rate, it's pretty viable to break apart and gets this result, just because in order to break apart, you need to do damage. So by the more damage you stack pre-Pursuit, the more you get when you actually activate it. This is why this is the highest. But again, you must activate Pursuit. So if you aren't good at focusing on a part and breaking it, this build isn't really for you. For this build, you need the Malzeno Helmet at grade 8, Espinasse Mail at grade 8, Rothian Van Braces at grade 8, Malzeno Coil at grade 8, and the Malzeno Greaves at grade 8. You also need 5 Dragon Attack Drift Smelts. Alright, next up at number 2 for the best Malzeno melee Drift Smelt build, we have 4 Dragon Attack and 1 Weakness Exploit Drift Smelt. This does about 7% less overall theoretical damage than the top build at 6733. However, the problem here is you have to hit weak spots to get the most out of crit, and it also has Fighting Spirit and Pursuit for extra damage. But there's a lot of conditional things in this one. So again, in addition, you also need the Carnival 2024 mail, which some of you don't have. So again, don't sweat it. If you can't build this one, use other ones. For this one, you need the Malzeno Helmet at grade 8, the Carnival 2024 mail at grade 8, Devil Joe Vambracer at grade 8, Malzeno Coil at grade 8, and the Malzeno Greaves at grade 8. And last but not least, for the best Malzeno melee Driftsmelt build, we have at number 3. We have 4 Dragon Attack Driftsmelts and 1 Resuscitate. This does about 8% less overall theoretical damage than top build at 663. Or not 600, 6,663. Sorry, the 666. That's a really bad number, but you know what? I just didn't notice it. However, the thing about this is you must have Blood Cloak active. Resuscitate isn't bad, I just don't recommend it. Again, when Advanced Dragon Attack comes out, this is likely going to get phased out. So, do you really want to spend on something now that's a suboptimal build? If you don't know what you're talking about, then that's you. But if you do want to use this, or you already have components of this already built, you need the Malzeno Helmet at grade 8, Malzeno Mail at grade 8, Malzeno Vambracer at grade 8, Gold Rathian Coil at grade 8, and the Mizutsune Greaves at grade 8. Moving on, we have the best Malzeno Bow Driftsmelt builds data, as we compare the top realistic Dragon Driftsmelt bow builds as a Season 7. As we see here, there are 2 builds that are very close to each other. Basically, you choose either you want to deal with Blood Cloak or not, and either if you want to go after Chargemaster 5 versus Chargemaster 4. Chargemaster 5 is going to be literally the most powerful meta for a very, very long time, just because a 70% boost for all of your charge shots is absolutely nuts. It's absolutely insane. Not me, but every single Japanese content creator I see out there, I just see the numbers are just going off. So if you manage to Driftsmelt this at full power, you will not be surprised. There is factually nothing else that will overtake it. Unless someone that thinks in their head, like, you know, they have some, like, world record going on when Niantic hasn't even recognized it, or there's actually no leaderboard for world records for speedrunning right now, etc. This will take the cake, though. I'm pretty sure some crazy Japanese player will take the cake if we ever have a leaderboard like that, and this will be insanely powerful. Basically, if you want a long-term bow build that's going to be meta for a long time and overtake factually every other type of the game very likely, it's going to be this one. And this brings us to the first best Malzeno Driftsmelt bow build at number 1. 5 Chargemaster Driftmelts are required for this one. This build maxes Focus, Vital Dragon, Malzeno Crimson Blood, and Chargemaster. This does the highest theoretical damage overall at 7692. It's the most consistent build as it does not require you to upkeep Blood Cloak or get rid of it or anything like that. However, the big problem is you will need 5 Chargemaster Driftsmelts for this build. If you followed my advice from before, 3 of these pieces are exchangeable pieces. You should already have to have Chargemaster on them. For this build, you need Malzeno Helmet at grade 8, the Pink Rathian Mail at grade 8, the Beatotus Vambracer at grade 8, or the Arzos Vambracer at grade 8, the Malzeno Coil at grade 8, and the Gyrototus Greaves at grade 8, or the Bishatan Greaves at grade 8. Moving on, at the best Driftsmelt build at number 2, we have 4 Chargemaster Driftsmelts. This build faxes Focus, Vital Dragon, Malzeno Crimson Blood, and Blood Cloak. It does the second highest theoretical damage overall at 7280, which is only 6% less than the top one, but you have to deal with the Blood Cloak mechanic. The benefit is you also only need 4 Chargemaster, 4 of them for this build. So you go from 5 to 4. So if you want to be cheap, because the Regen Coil cannot have a Driftsmelt, this is what you want to use. The Malzeno Helmet at grade 8, the Malzeno Mail at grade 8, Malzeno Vambracer at grade 8, Regen Coil at grade 8, and the Gyrototus Greaves at grade 8. And for the last weapon types, we have the Bowguns with their Driftsmelt builds data, as we compare the top realistic Dragon Driftsmelt bow builds as a Season 7. As we see here, there are only 2 builds that are pretty viable. It's either dealing with Blood Cloak and adding on to that, or not, and if you think it's worth Driftsmelting into it. Not really. Here's the problem with the Bowguns. There isn't anything good to Driftsmelt into it that's really, really worth it long term. Unlike Chargemaster, which gives that 70% sweetness, unless we get something like, I think it was Walla Jihab, if I screw up your name, I'm sorry, you can correct me in the comments. He made a good point. If they ever get recoil down or reload speed and both of them onto the game where you can Driftsmelt them, the entire Bowgun meta is just going to flip itself on its head. Seriously, it's going to be terrible. So, I highly advise you against Driftsmelt. If anybody tells you to Driftsmelt Coalescence or Resuscitate into these with confidence, no. I'm telling you right now. The next builds I have Resuscitate, but only if you really want to, and I highly do not recommend you worry about Bowguns right now. Better things are coming. As someone that saw Advanced Attack, Ice Attack, and Thunder Attack ahead of time, I implore you to not spend on your Bowguns. Just wait, you will be fine. But if you really want to do Resuscitate, here we have the best Malzeno Driftsmelt Light Bowgun build at number 1. 4 Resuscitate and 1 Dragon Attack is what you require, as it maxes Vital Dragon, Malzeno Crimson Blood, Blood Cloak, and Recoil Down, as the Light Bowgun only needs 1 reload speed. And this does the highest theoretical damage overall at 6154. However, you must deal with the Blood Cloak mechanic and Resuscitate. For this build, you need the Malzeno Helmet at grade 8, Malzeno Mail at grade 8, Malzeno Vambraces at grade 8, Puke Coil at grade 8, as well as the Kirin Greaves at grade 8. Next up, for the best Malzeno Driftsmelt build for the Light Bowgun, we have at number 2, 5 times Dragon Attack. Driftsmelts are required for this, as it maxes Vital Dragon, Malzeno Crimson Blood, Blood Cloak, and Recoil Down, and Dragon Attack, as Light Bowgun only needs 1 reload speed. This does the least theoretical damage overall at 5,99999, which is about 2% less. It's the most consistent as you don't have to deal with Blood Cloak / Resuscitate, and Dragon Attack is a solid attack boost. For this, you need the Malzeno Helmet at grade 8, Paluma Mail at grade 8, Brute Tigrex Vambraces at grade 8, Malzeno Coil at grade 8, and the Malzeno Greaves at grade 8. Moving on, we have the best Malzeno Driftsmelt Heavy Bowgun build at number 1, which is 5 Resuscitate Driftsmelts. This build maxes Vital Dragon, Resuscitate, Reload Speed, and Recoil Down. And it does the highest theoretical damage overall at 5661. I don't recommend this. Recoil Down 3 and Reload Speed 3 limit this build a lot. That's the problem with just bowguns in general. And as mentioned before, if better smelts come along, you're going to be kicking yourself in the bum because you actually invested in these. But if you really want to and you really feel the need to do it right now, you need the Malzeno Helmet at grade 8, Malzeno Mail at grade 8, Basarios Vambraces at grade 8, Puke Coil at grade 8, and the Azaratlos Greaves at grade 8. And last but not least, the best Malzeno Driftsmelt Heavy Bowgun build at number 2, 5 times Dragon Attack is what's required for this build, as you max out Vital Dragon, Dragon Attack, Reload Speed, and Recoil Down. And it does the highest, it does the second highest actually theoretical damage overall at 5273, which is about 7% less. However, just like the Light Bowgun one, this is the most consistent build because Dragon Attack is a permanent boost. If you feel the need to smelt, this is your better one. And you need the Malzeno Helmet at grade 8, Paluma Mail at grade 8, Legiana Vambraces at grade 8, Puke Coil at grade 8, and the Malzeno Greaves at grade 8. Hopefully this video helps you decide which Malzeno builds to Driftsmelt into. Again, I highly do not recommend worrying about Driftsmelting for melee and bowguns. Better things will come in the future, so it's not worth the insta-smelts. It's just like anybody that tells you to smelt Coalescence or anything like that. Do not do it. I'm even telling you, even though Resuscitate isn't here, data-wise it's backed up, it's pretty good, I wouldn't do it right now. All it's going to take is for something like Advanced Dragon Attack to come out, and then everything just flips on its head. Because of that, again, don't highly recommend. I'm only putting this out there because this is the current aspect, but with the information they have revealed to us, and I knew this pretty early on, I just couldn't say anything about it, was that with Advanced Thunder and Ice Attack coming out, it is very predictable that there will be a very powerful dragon meta coming in the future. As someone that has had to overhaul their dragon builds 3 times already, because this will be my 3rd time. Before it was my burst bow. Second, it was the dragon attack bow with Charge Master. And now I have to do it with Malzeno Crimson Blood, Vital Dragon, and Charge Master. This really hurts my head and my insta smelts. And it should for you too. So, again, make sure you are being very careful, and unless it's the bow where Charge Master is going to be meta for a very, very long time. For melee and just bowguns, again, do not worry about it. Please do me a huge favor. Like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm as you see these smelts just going off and I finally get Charge Master. I hope you the best of luck and wish you the best of luck in your drift smelts, in your grinds, and everything you do. Good luck, and I will see y'all in the next video.